All right, today's lesson, what we're doing is a finger independence exercise. And one thing that I notice a lot of guitar players suffer with is when they go to make various chord changes, or they go to play licks or something like this, fingers are moving when they shouldn't be. You know, you have four fingers. Most of us are playing with four fingers, and when you're using, say, only two fingers, the other two fingers that aren't being used need to be relaxed, they need to be comfortable, and you need to be able to move each finger as an independent unit. You don't want any of this type of thing where you go to play something, you go to play your first finger and your pinky starts going like this, or starts moving like this. Fingers start coming off of the fretboard. You don't want any of that, because all that is going to hinder your ability to play guitar comfortably and play guitar relaxed. So this exercise is going to definitely improve your finger independence, left hand. So what we're dealing with, you put all four fingers down on the G string, the third string, starting on fret 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the idea with this exercise is to focus not on the finger that's moving, but on the fingers that aren't moving. So you're fretting all four of your fingers on frets 5, 6, 7, 8 on the G string. And step one of this exercise is take your first finger off. Now, when you do this exercise, the three fingers that are still fretted should not move whatsoever. Not a centimeter, not an inch, not at all. You want as little movement in the stationary fingers as possible. So the exercise goes like this. You take your first finger, you put it on the 6th string, 5th fret, and then the 1st string, 5th fret. And then you repeat. And then you do the same thing on strings 5 and 2, the A string and the B string. Now notice that the fingers that are stationary, my middle ring and pinky fingers, aren't moving at all. It's only my first finger. And then once you feel like you have a good grasp of your first finger, you put your first finger back, fret it, so now all four fingers are fretted. And then you lift your middle finger up and you do it with your middle finger. Remember to focus on the fingers that aren't moving, not the finger that is moving. You have to focus on the three that aren't. Now you do your ring finger. And then finally, you do your pinky. Looks pretty simple, right? But it's actually not. Give it a shot and you'll see what I mean. A couple tips that will help you. The thumb, your thumb is like the balancing act of your hand, right? So it's if you can imagine one of those tight rope walkers that like walk on the rope above the buildings, holding like one of those long sticks. They got to hold the stick directly in the center. If they hold it to one side, they're going to tip over to that side. If they hold it too far to the other side, they're going to tip over to that side. Your thumb is the exact same way. If you're playing in a 4-fret position and your thumb is over here, it's pulling your entire hand to where your thumb is. And just like that, if it's over behind your pinky, it's going to pull everything that way. So the most beneficial way to play over a 4-fret span is to have your thumb directly in the middle. So in this case, if I'm fretting 5, 6, 7, and 8, my thumb is directly behind the 6th fret, which is in between my middle and ring fingers. So that's like the most beneficial spot for your thumb to be in. Now, one last little thing is making sure that you have a symmetrical hand position, right? What you don't want is something like this, right? This will definitely inhibit your ability to play the B string. Take a listen. I'm getting a muted note. If I bring my hand around this way And you notice my two middle fingers, my middle and ring finger, are vertical, and my pinky and first finger are kind of hooked outward, right? That's a symmetrical hand position. And now the B string is clear to ring underneath those fingers. One last little tip is that while you're doing this, when you lift off a finger, right, you have 3 fingers remaining. And the only way to get this really effective is to make sure that you have equal pressure distributed among the 3 fingers that are fretted. Meaning that you have to have, if you imagine, 33.33% pressure in each finger, right? You don't want 25%, 50%, and then like 25% here. You want an even amount of pressure distributed among each finger so that the first finger is free to play without gripping too hard on any one individual finger, right? So you got to keep even pressure distributed among the fingers that are remaining. So even if you're playing the ring finger, your first finger, middle, and pinky all need to have the same amount of pressure, or roughly the same amount of pressure. Thumb in the middle of your hand, keeping your symmetrical hand position so that the B string can ring clearly when you play it, and give this exercise a shot. It may take a couple times to get through, at least successfully, but try to minimize any movement. You don't want any hand motions. When you're moving one finger, you don't want your other fingers flying around. Literally, the goal is to make the only thing that's moving the finger that's supposed to be playing at that specific time, whichever finger that is. Nothing else should move. So give that a shot, and let me know in the comments section. Subscribe, like, share, and most of all, rock out and have some fun.